Hi everyone, I'm Michael Short. This is Let's Go Outdoors.
Let's go outdoors where the waters run clear and cold. Mother Nature's world is better than gold. So much to see, so much to do. Let's go outdoors, me and you.
Let's Go Outdoors with Michael Short. Supported by the Alberta Conservation Association.
Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Go Outdoors. I'm Michael Short.
And I'm Elma Mehmedbegovic.
Overhead, overhead.
Coming up, Josh goes on his very first duck hunt and discovers shooting a duck isn't as easy as it looks.
Oh, why didn't that go down?
Then we head into the kitchen to try out recipes for wild duck and pheasant.
I'm super close.
And we'll learn all about where our food comes from. We follow these school kids as they make their first trip out to a farm.
He's orange with black stripes.
The Royal Alberta Museum has been the home for a very special safari where kids who are visually impaired can encounter all kinds of wild animals.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gently, that's right. That's right.
There you go.
Cool.
Here's a memory that will last a lifetime, going duck hunting with your father for the very first time.
Let's join Ken as he takes his son Josh out to the Golden Ranches site east of Edmonton on a blustery afternoon.
Two families, the Cranrods and the Zimmerlings, are off for a day of duck hunting. With decoys and shotguns in hand, they make their way across some of the 1,300 acres here at the Golden Ranches property just 45 minutes east of Edmonton. Hunter and Pepper are also along to hopefully fetch some ducks out of Cooking Lake. A strong gale is blowing, making it tricky to set out the decoys. The 50K wind is also going to make it a bit tougher for first-time duck hunter Josh Cranrod. Luckily, his father is here to show him the ropes. Todd Zimmerling has a few tips too.
Don't be afraid to take a shot. If it's too far out, it's too far out.
Okay.
But you never know if it's too far out until you take a shot. And then if you miss, you can say, I was too far out. It's going to be a bit tricky with this wind, though. You're going to have to be ready because they'll be coming in at Mach 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Safety?
It's on.
Okay. 10 o'clock. He's just bobbing in the water. If he jumps up and flies across, take a shot at him. Get ready. Safety off.
Yeah.
Again, up again.
Well, no hits, as Todd would say. That duck was just too far out. Nearby, a marsh hawk fights the wind to chase a field mouse.
There we go, ready to go again. He was low, and he heard that shot go by, and that's why he went up high. So I think you were close. Good try.
I was sort of leading him, but I guess he didn't go towards it really.
Lunchtime. No ducks yet for Josh and Ken. Still, it's a great day to be outdoors.
I think nowadays it's too easy to do nothing, with a little bit of effort. You can quite easily get together with some friends and get outdoors. Here at the Golden Ranches, we're not very far from Edmonton at all.
Todd and daughter Amanda take a stroll to make sure there's not a bunch of ducks just around the bend. The Golden Ranches conservation site was made possible with financial support from Suncor, Syncrude, and other industry partners. Generous donations have allowed the Alberta Conservation Association to purchase many private properties in Alberta and preserve those lands as conservation sites.
It's a great location, and so far we haven't had a lot of pressure out here, which is kind of nice, but I certainly want to make sure people are aware that the opportunity's here.
Right in front of you. Take them. Many of the ACA conservation sites are open to hunting and fishing. That's good news for the growing number of hunters here in Alberta.
Oh, why didn't that go down? That was crazy. You just bang and they both fell down.
You got both of them. Good boy, good boy. Thousands of shells.
Not sure if it was the wind or if someone shot the wing off this decoy.
Overhead, overhead. How's that for a shot, eh?
At the end of the day, Josh and Ken shot 5 ducks. Not bad, especially considering the conditions.
You get to be outside and spend some good time together and enjoy the outdoors.
It was fun, lots of action.
We actually haven't had duck before. We've had a number of other things, but no duck yet.
That's about to change, as you'll see in our next story.
There is a growing trend for more and more people to gather and cook their own food. Hunting can certainly fall into that category. Our very own Michael likes to muck about in the kitchen, and he has a special guest helping him.
We kick off our cooking segment with Josh Cranrod. And Josh, you and I were out sitting in a duck blind not too long ago. Your father was along with the Zimmerlings, and you ended up putting a couple of ducks into the marinade for us.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're excited about getting cooking?
I'm looking forward to eating it at the end.
Well, I know you're a connoisseur of bacon, and so I think I found a recipe that is just going to fit your taste buds to a T, sir. And what you and your father did for me first was to marinate some of those duck breasts. So we took a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of red wine, and some garlic, and we had that soaking for a good day. And so all we're going to do is take the duck out, and we're just going to basically put these guys into some bite-sized pieces like that. And then we are going to take a bacon strip, and we'll cut that in half. And then we're going to, if you want to take a water chestnut, place that down, and then place the duck on top of that. And then another water chestnut inside. And then give that bacon a wrap. You got it happening there, guy. That's excellent.
Looks great.
I'll give you a couple more pieces of bacon here to work with. Now, bacon is one of those ingredients that really is indispensable when cooking with waterfowl or even wild game. For the most part, wild game is a very lean meat, so the fat from the bacon really aids in the cooking. Not to mention it adds another level of flavor, and it's something Josh has already figured out.
Look at that. It's a lot of bacon.
There's going to be a time in your life where you're going to look at that and you're going to go, oh, that's really not a good thing to eat.
I think my dad's starting to do that.
Your dad's starting to do that. All right. Josh, we've got an outstanding looking plate here. There's one other thing that we could probably just do just to give it a little more oomph. We're just going to do a real light drizzle of olive oil. Olive oil is a wonderful flavor enhancer. And we're going to pop this into the oven. We got our oven set for 350 degrees, and we'll leave them in there for about 25 minutes to half an hour, just until that bacon is nice and cooked on the outside, and then we'll see what your parents and everybody else seems to think about your dish here, okay?
All right.
All right. So about a half hour later, this bacon-wrapped water chestnut duck breasts were ready for sampling. Of course, Josh had to make the presentation.
What's in these things, Josh?
Well, it's duck with 2 water chestnuts wrapped in bacon.
Very tasty.
Yes, especially the bacon.
Yes.
I guess when people are too busy eating, it's a good sign. You hit the mark. Good job, Josh. Well, that dish went over well. We have time for one more duck delight. This time around, professional biologist Linda Zimmerling joins me in the kitchen and presents a simple recipe that tastes great.
Well, this one is best done fresh out of the field. You bring the ducks home, you pull the breasts out, and then you quickly just slice them into bite-sized pieces.
Okay.
Add a few things into a shake and bake kind of bag. Just quickly coat them, and then
sort of
throw them in some hot oil.
We're talking about like a shake and bake kind of waterfowl. Now, according to Linda, this recipe is one that really doesn't follow precise measurements.
Truth be told, it tastes different every time, based on the duck and based on how many times I shake.
Basically, next to the pancake mix, you can add whatever dry spice you like, toss everything, including the sliced duck, into a bag, give it a shake, and drop it into a hot pan. And wait for the compliments.
Who's hungry?
Me.
I am.
Yeah, it is good. That's nice.
Very tasty.
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Setting the bar high.
Whoa.
Boy, that duck looked delicious. Can't wait to see what Michael's cooking up next.
This is a rattlesnake.
Coming up, visually impaired people are given a special opportunity to get up close and personal with wildlife.
The Alberta Conservation Association is proud to be partnered with Alberta Fish and Game Association, Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association, Alberta Professional Outfitters Society,
Time now for a look at our outdoor community calendar.
Most of us know what a lion or rattlesnake looks like. Not so for visually impaired people.
And thanks to a special event at the Royal Alberta Museum, they can paint a picture in their mind by using their sense of touch.
This is called a stingray.
Sensory Safari is an opportunity for visually impaired kids and their families to get up close and personal with creatures from faraway places,
He's orange with black stripes.
or as close as their own backyard.
But there's nothing to be scared of. Snakes are good, right? Snakes eat mice and they don't hurt anybody, especially these kind of guys. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I would do that.
Now that's what I call getting really close and personal.
Wolverine is the largest member of the weasel family.
Sensory Safari is organized by Safari Club International in partnership with the CNIB and the Royal Alberta Museum.
It opens up their world. An impaired child sees with his hands. So this way they get a chance to feel it, touch it, experience it.
This one's a rattlesnake.
Lucas is part of the CNIB. He's got optic nerve hypoplasia, so it's where the eyes wiggle a little bit side to side. So technically he's legally blind.
It's called the Maclay Spectre Stick. It's a little prickly, it doesn't hurt your fingers. It's kind of like petting Velcro. You want to try? Yeah, go ahead.
Gently, that's right. That's right.
There you go.
Now this is the lion, Lucas. Look at how big his head is.
While Lucas can still see up to 10 feet away, some have no vision at all.
I can hear and taste and feel, but I can't see.
We call it the unicorn, right? He's a whale that has this on his nose, like a big nose.
Autumn and her family traveled for 2.5 hours to attend this event.
We do what we can to describe, but nothing really does it until she can feel it.
Okay, you can feel it's a big...
Interpreters volunteer their time to guide participants and their families through this hands-on experience and answer the many questions.
Wild boar.
Plus, everything she felt, there's a person there describing every single bit of it to her. And then she always has questions, so here they can actually answer them for her, or we can't half the time.
Bringing an extensive display like this together is no easy feat. The snakes and the insects live here at the museum, while the mounts are borrowed from hunters and AHIA, the Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association.
So this guy's got his rattle like this. So this is a dangerous snake. If he was alive, you wouldn't be touching him like this.
Now, one of the kids has requested that they have a leopard next year. For Gary and the rest of the Safari Club International volunteers, trying to fill that request is a challenge they cherish, especially after witnessing the joy the kids get from this experience.
Can't make it through a whole day with this event without tearing up at least a few times, you know.
Yeah, just right down from the knees. That's the best video.
There you go. Oh, look at that, eh?
Well, another summer of swimming and other water-related activity is upon us.
And that means wearing your life jacket anytime you are on or in the water. Alberta Parks has a program to help you stay afloat this season.
It's another great day at an Alberta beach. But these visitors are being informed of a new policy here at Fish Creek Provincial Park.
Hi ladies, welcome to Sukhumi. Just wondering if you guys are aware that Sukhumi now has a new life jacket policy. All kids under the age of 7 need to be wearing a life jacket when they're in the water.
Okay.
So we're encouraging people to bring them from home and to purchase them. If you don't have them, for the kids, we do have a loaner station as well, and you're more than welcome to borrow one and then return it when you're done. So, okay, super. Have a good day at the lake, ladies.
The program is called Kids Don't Float, and it's anchored around an initiative between Alberta Tourism Parks and Recreation and the Alberta Life-Saving Society.
For children, incidents involving drowning can happen in anywhere from 2 meters to 1 foot of water, depending on the situation. So it's extremely important. We're really trying this summer to get everybody on board to bring their own life jackets from home. For those who can't bring them from home or have forgotten them, we do have the loaner station here for them to utilize.
Life jacket loaner stations like this one can be found in 15 provincial parks, and as part of the collaboration with the Life-Saving Society, all of these life jackets have been donated. That said, there are not enough for every swimmer, so some sharing is required.
We ask people at the gate when we're explaining the program and the loaner jackets that they use them and return them when they're done. Lots of times we'll see families leaving them on the sand after the kids are done, and if we can do it or if any of the other staff can pop by and mention to that family that, you know, if you're not using it, to return it, allow another child to have the benefit of that, we will go around the beach and do that as time permits.
If you are planning a day either around a lake or a river this summer, please make sure you bring along a life jacket for your kids. And of course, if you are going to be boating, ensure you have life jackets for everyone on board. They will save your life.
Coming up, it's back to Michael's kitchen, this time for some pheasant in a rich plum sauce.
The Alberta Conservation Association is proud to be partnered with Alberta Trappers Association, Nature Alberta, Wild Sheep Foundation Alberta,
Time now for a look at our outdoor community calendar.
One of the hunts we featured this season on Let's Go Outdoors was the Tabor Pheasant Festival. We joined Michael and his special guests Ken and Josh to cook up some of those upland game birds.
Of course, our first step is to secure a couple of pheasants, and that was accomplished with the help of Mary, who took her first bird during the Tabor Pheasant Festival.
Beautiful shot.
We've shifted gears a little bit. We moved away from waterfowl, and we're going to go into the pheasant.
Josh Cranrod and his father also participated in the event, Josh also being fortunate enough to harvest a bird. Now, Ken is also vice president of the Alberta Conservation Association and has been heavily involved in organizing the Tabor Pheasant Festival, which is really focused on getting more kids interested in hunting.
And we had such a demand and an interest from the novice day that we actually added a second day. So the festival now is going to kick off with 2 days of novice hunts, and that way we're able to accommodate all the kids that wanted to take part in going out.
And Josh, you can speak to this. How did you enjoy actually being out with a mentor, walking the field, and you know that the birds are close at hand?
Well, it was a good learning experience. It was my first hunt, so it was pretty fun and good experience. I learned a lot.
I guess the big question is, are you going to be going out this year?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So after taking care of slicing an onion, we'll drop those into a hot frying pan, then add the plums that Josh has sliced in with those onions.
Good job. Right on. Okay, and then if you can bring the sugar over as well. And then just sprinkle it around. Get it on those plums. That's it. Good job.
Basically, at this point, we're allowing the plums and the sugar to blend, creating a nice sauce. Now, just be careful not to allow this mixture to burn. The next step is to get that secret ingredient ready.
Now, you're the biologist, so I need to ask you. This comes from a tree, and a small tree that grows in China and in parts in Vietnam. I think it would be a herb, wouldn't it not?
Well, I got my biology degree in Alberta, not in China, so I'm kind of out of my element a little bit here. I don't think it is a herb technically, but if you want to call it that, then go ahead. Let's go with spice. Okay. That's suitably generic.
All right. Yeah. So it's a star anison, and it imparts a real, almost a licorice type flavor.
We then do a simple sear of the pheasants, adding some salt and pepper.
I'm super close.
Another quick stir of the plum sauce to check on the consistency. Add in the pheasant, then place everything into a hot oven for 5 minutes or so.
All right, guys, I think we've got her. Oh my goodness.
Serve over rice and enjoy.
No, that's nice. Obviously, you can taste all the fruit in there, the plum, and the meat is great.
Awesome.
Of course, another great dish to try at home is freshly caught fish, providing, of course, you can get your ice fishing tent set up, as Brad Fenson demonstrates.
Hi, I'm Brad Fenson with the Alberta Fish and Game Association with your outdoor tip of the week. We're out here ice fishing, having a great time, and the wind's picked up. And what we're going to talk about is staying warm, comfortable, out of the elements and wind, and giving yourself a sight advantage when you're fishing. So I brought along a tent here. Almost all ice fishing enclosures, they're black. There's a reason for that. This black fabric is going to soak up some of that sunlight and heat you up in there, keep you out of the wind, and you're going to stay real comfy. If you look at the way that sun's shining today, it magnifies through the snow and the ice here on the lake and actually lights up the substrate like there's a halogen bulb down there. So when you get into this dark enclosure and look down, you can see everything clearly. You can see the fish, how they interact with your hook. These structures are pretty easy to set up. You just lay them down and pull on the cords, one on each side, and they'll just snap into place. So I'm not fighting with the tent in the wind all day. What I've done is I've put an ice cleat in here, and I can take this cord and simply put it over top of that cleat, and it's going to hold that tent in place so I don't have to chase it around. Time to get in there and stay warm. Oh yeah, nice and cozy in here. Time to put you to work. Go in there and get some walleye.
Coming up, for these students, it's time to answer a very important question. Just where does our food come from?
The Alberta Conservation Association is proud to be partnered with Pheasants Forever, Alberta Council, Treaty 8 First Nations of Alberta, Trout Unlimited Canada.
Time now for a look at our outdoor community calendar.
For some kids today, an understanding of where our food comes from can be a rather foreign concept.
So a unique program called City Slickers has been introducing kids to farm life. We caught up with some energetic students just west of Edmonton to see what it's all about.
I have you as a group leader.
There is a little nervous energy in the air as months of planning are about to be put to the test. As the first buses begin to roll in, these volunteers are ready to meet their special guests. Some 1,200 students from across the Edmonton area who have come to answer one very important question.
The idea behind City Slickers is to teach urban children where their food comes from. We feel that that's more important than ever right now with the declining agriculture industry.
Divide and conquer is the approach to get some 1,200 students through 4 farms and the main venue located at the Multicultural Center in Stony Plain.
Half of the 1,200 students will be split between our 4 participating farms. They're going to learn all about farm life firsthand from those farm families. The other half are going to come to our main pavilion, where industry leaders have set up education stations. Those kids are going to be walked through those stations and taught all about careers in agriculture. They'll go to our main harvest about lunchtime, where we'll meet everyone, and then they flip places in the afternoon.
They want to make sure that all the potatoes that they get planted are healthy and strong.
Now, this event is taking place during the fall, without question the busiest time for a farm operation. So why invite 1,200 students at this time of year?
Well, there's probably a long answer to that, but the short answer is that I think it's important for the kids to come out and see the reality of farming and food production, so close to them.
One could say it's all about reconnecting today's youth with the land and those who work on it.
I think that it makes the connection between what is happening out on the farms and the reality of what needs the support that farmers need, or just the consideration. There's a lot of work involved in producing food, which for them is as easy as just walking in a couple of doors, buying food and going home. But the process is incredibly long and time consuming. So I think it's just important for them to know that this isn't as easy as it is for them.
Of course, no trip to the farm would be complete without a demonstration of heavy equipment, and it was certainly a crowd favorite. And so over the course of a day, these kids experienced the sights, sounds, and yes, smells of the farm.
We're gonna go inside the barn now. It smells very different than it does out here. So you may want to plug your nose, or you may just want to let it smell it, and in a minute or two you won't even notice it.
For the teachers, providing kids with some first-hand experience on farm life has proven to be very successful in conveying a number of lessons.
Well, an awareness, I think most importantly, of where their food comes from, of the occupations that are involved in getting our food to our grocery stores and to our table, and learning about Alberta in our own province.
Anybody got their ears pierced? We just put it in your ear and we go click.
By the end of the day, there were certainly some interesting responses to what these students walked away with from their experience.
We learned about cud. What's cud? I think it's something like when a cow eats something and it goes into the stomach, they regurgitate it and then they chew it.
Do you like to drink milk?
Yes.
Is it your favorite drink?
No.
What's your favorite drink?
Pork.
Well, I guess there's still a little more work that has to be done. Alma, can you believe it? We're at the end of another season.
And what an adventure it was. I mean, I went dog sledding, so I made friends there, and the canoeing gave me some muscles.
Well, it's good to get that workout in. I had an opportunity to spend a little bit of time on the crow's nest doing a little fly fishing. Hey, on behalf of Mary Hulbert and the entire crew here at Let's Go Outdoors, we want to thank you for tuning in this past season. Remember, if you would like to catch previous stories featured on Let's Go Outdoors, then track down our website at www.letsgooutdoors.ca.
And remember, the outdoors is here for all of us to enjoy. So if you see someone taking away from that enjoyment, then call the Reporter Poacher line. Till next time, I'm Elma Mehmet-Begovic.
And I'm Michael Short. Let's go outdoors.
I know where I want to be. Outside, wild and free. Let's go outdoors. Let's go outdoors. You and me. Let's go